The Holcim Foundation Fellowship is like a fantastic learning boot camp. We throw our fellows into this intense 2-week learning experience, which is facilitated by practitioners. And here in Brussels, it's been about adaptive reuse and renovation.
I think Brussels was a very unique opportunity for us to experiment with being at the heart of European policymaking. What's really great about the city is that it can provide a warning for the future of what cities could be like, but it could also provide a series of opportunities through understanding incentives and the role of incentives in shaping better cities.
So the fellowship was about finding incentives for change for practitioners within the built environment to really consider adaptive reuse as a solution for many challenges that we are facing today in Europe especially.
It's really about how we can make adaptive reuse cheaper, also physically more easy, and also in a socially have that dominant opinion to make adaptive reuse more facilitated.
The beauty about the Holcim Foundation Fellowship was structured was that it wasn't just lectures. We were able to do site visits and really to see actual case studies on how policies or design concepts are being implemented in real projects.
I'm really excited to meet all the companies, all the pioneers of the industry, that how they are already practicing, and maybe where I can place myself in that puzzle.
So what we tried to show to the fellows was a little bit our reflection, more from an economical and risk perspective on reuse and adaptive reuse.
So I was impressed by the diversity of their backgrounds. So they're very different, not just architects, and in that sense the discussion was very interesting.
One day they will go out and say, I want to start my practice and I want to only do adaptive reuse projects and I will collect windows as a developer, and then the next day they'll say, oh, I want to work in a think tank and I want to influence the European Commission.
So in the final presentation, we all had to come together to develop a set of incentives to enact structural change towards adaptive reuse. And we went through this process of coming to consensus about a network of incentives rather than siloed incentives for each of us as separate stakeholders. I think that really reflects both the complexity but also the way we need to work together to sort of overcome this issue.
The fact that they understood this value chain. The built environment is not only architects, not only engineers, but it needs all of them, also the political side and also the financial side. Bringing them together, I think this is very impressive.
I'm very grateful for this fellowship, for giving this opportunity to be creative, to be curious, to ask questions.
What stuck with me the most is actually the complexity that stands behind in this moment adaptive reuse projects.
This 2 weeks made me question how to, as a practitioner, like emerging practitioner, how to position myself as an architect and urban designer and contribute to the transition.
My hope for the fellows is that they walk away after 2 weeks with not just new learnings and competencies that they've built over these 2 weeks, but also fantastic relationships that they've built between one another.
What I'm taking home is hope.
Broader context.
Incentives for change.